words all from memory, and I can't remember what to say now.
That's why you have your numbers.
Okay, we gotta pay. First of all, what are you doing? First of all, that little gal there at the end is Judy. Judy started this whole thing. There's quite a bit of it in the book under, I think, a celebration of life? No, it's in the chapter, oh, yeah, H&L celebration season. And my wife died just before that, and so I had to carry on the celebration season. And the day that our anniversary came up, November 5th, remember that thing? They also had a hospice, a celebration, not a celebration, but a memorial service. And I didn't want to miss it. She came along, we met like 2 days before that. And all we had was a lunch. And she was planning everything right from the lunch. But anyway, she joined me. We had a great time. We had the anniversary, the same place that Lorraine used to love, Marine Shacks. And Judy has a background in film. You worked on Saving Private Ryan, didn't you? No? Oh, that's in the book, so disregard it. Jeez, I didn't know that. Should check with you. Yeah. My research is not as good as my memory. And that's pretty bad. Costume designer, right? Okay, that I have right. Anyway, she steered me right, and there's a whole chapter on nothing but closure. One for her, it wouldn't be. And if it weren't for closure, I'd be nuts. And this is true, and it did a hell of a lot of good. So Judy, I have to pay homage to. She's lovely.
We met at a writing class.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
you were only there one time.
A little bit earlier than the memorial celebration at hospice.
That's how it started.
That's right. And you wanted to express this story, and Lorraine always wanted you to express this story. And all I did was get on the computer and help you find your Army battalion.
Right.
And we identified it through, I can't, you know, maybe your sergeant or something like this.
I don't know how you
found it. And that really kind of got you inspired.
See, I'm great on the computer. I knew that. I'm like the lead man, you know what I mean? He takes up. I could never have found that stuff. And you also wanted to find out, or you put me on the right track to find out where Junior was buried, which I had to know. Yeah, anyway, I owe a lot to her. And she's a great, great woman. Then, well, Stan, you know, I put up with him. But, you know, he's okay.
I wasn't next. I wasn't next in line. Jenny was next in line.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting to the important ones. I feel like it's
Well, then you should have started with me.
Jenny, my Jenny. There is a woman straight out of heaven. They could only produce them. She's beautiful. She's talented. She's an exquisite gal. And she had a writing class. So I decided to try writing because I had this promise I made that sooner or later had to be fulfilled. I knew nothing about writing. And in fact, anything I ever studied was trigonometry, geometry, and all that crap. Never English literature. Never a word of English literature. But I learned so much from that person there. I can't tell you. Of course, I'm a fast learner, right? I mean, she's fantastic, and I'll never forget her words. Nobody wants to know what you had for lunch. So you got to make them feel, not tell them. Well, hope that book does that, but I tried. I tried. But she put me on the right track, and there was one story I wrote that they read on, well, that's explained, I guess, in that write-up. They put on the public radio on Veterans Day in 2010. And they read it. And it's called War is Hell. And it's a saga on camaraderie, Junior and I. And she corrected it, oh, I don't know how many times. Dozens is right. And I want to tell you something. She never lets things go and say, oh, it's great. She has to correct it, you know, one time after the other. But I thought it was good. It really was good. And I kind of thought, gee whiz, maybe I can write. And they liked it on you know, on the radio. But so that started the whole thing. That story. But for some reason, maybe because I was a little nuts, I didn't want to talk or hear about any war. And I went a lot of years like that. So, but that started and it got the ball rolling. But I still didn't want it. So 2 years later, just about 2-3 months ago, when I knew I was going to finish this thing finally, I said to myself, I got to do more. I got to tell my story. So I called up this Abby Weingarten. She writes for a ticket, like this was yesterday or the day before Punta Gorda's poll. She's a fantastic writer. She's great, honestly. And she belongs better in this newspaper, but she's very good. Well, Abby was supposed to be here tonight, but she's got a lot of problems, and she finally told me this afternoon she can't make it. But she's a gem. And so she came over and interviewed me. And she got this stuff out. She knew she wasn't going to get it out from me. Because I kept telling her, well, I'd rather not talk about that. Or, nah, we'll let that go. But she got everything out of me, you know. And she could have me write $1 million check. I mean, she could do anything with me. She was really very, very good. But she's not here. But she was good. Patrika. Where's Patrika? Patrika Vaughn. She owns a publishing company. She's very talented. And she edited stuff for me. And she has the knowledge, let's put it that way, which I don't have. I had the inspiration, not the knowledge. But she has the knowledge, and she really did a lot for me. And even with this last edit, I still found about 80 different typos, mostly typos, commas that shouldn't have been there, and all that stuff. So I found about 80 of them. But she had the word usage corrected, and a lot of this book really has her influence. And then, of course, Judy Bell. Judy Bell. Oh. You don't have to hide. Judy loves the stage. She always wanted to be an actress. Judy, I'll tell you, you were great. All volunteering, by the way, right? And how many emails do you think went back and forth? Oh, I don't know. Hundreds. Yeah. At least 100. Hundreds of emails. So, you know, she was a lot of help. So if it's a bad book, you can blame me. I tried. That's all I know is I tried. I tried hard. 17 months. And the last 7 months, or 6 months, I worked out a schedule with Susie, the cat. Because she had okayed the schedule. I go out every evening, because I have to. I can't sit home. And I certainly can't cook, so I had to go out. So I go out every evening, come back around 9, 10, 11 or something, and I start working maybe about 11 or so. And I work to 2 or 4 every morning. And then I was up the following morning. She liked that because she stays up nights anyway. So she figured she had company. So I did that every single night. And that's how it got written, because it wouldn't have got written otherwise. I just couldn't do it. Why was it written? Well, you're going to read plenty about that. Now, I'm going to say something now. I don't want you crying, Lori. Promise? Okay. All right. I picked this date. You know, a lot of people said, why can't you have it next week, or the week before, or the week after, or 2 weeks later? May 20th is the day I met Lorraine. And that's in that chapter called Bewitched. And that was May 20th. So, that's the reason. Okay? And then, of course, if I didn't have all the memories, they didn't come back, I couldn't have written it. There's no way. Because this is fiction. I mean, this is non-fiction, not fiction. And it's all memory inspired, every single word. So, there was a promise, and I never knew why she made me promise, but she had something in mind. But she made me promise, and I promised. And any person in this room, if I ever promise anything to, trust me, you'll get it, whatever it is. Just so I'm not drunk when I'm making a promise. Okay. Did it make you cry? Okay. Well, you lived through that one. Okay. Now, you read it, right?
Of course.
What did you think?
Just the most amazing love story of all time.
Really? I love you. That's very nice.
We love you.
Oh,
We
thank
love you for writing it and for sharing with us the love of your life and your heart and soul, compassion, and the beauty that you shared.
Stop now, you're making me cry.
I know.
Very nice, Larry. Very well said. Neil. Here's the other one I know read it. Neil, good. What did you think? I know you said you read it through.
Again, I'll say it sounded like, well, reading it, it was pretty much an amazing story in and of itself. Overall, I found out there were a lot of things about his and Lorraine's life together, which was just amazing. Actually, it was just incredible to see how much you dealt with, what you got, how you got through, and really it's pretty much a story about love at the end of the day.
Thanks. Well, you'll collect later on. High fee, but it's worth it. Okay, now, are you getting ready there, Patty?
Yeah.
Okay, a few minutes. The food is fantastic. I tasted it. Well, the hors d'oeuvres is a pretty good clue. But if anybody has an allergy or something, Patty will tell you. Patty will tell you what's in it. Right, Patty?
Yes.
So, you know, just check with her before you take anything. Yeah, I can tell her anything. She'll say, right? So, the food. Now, as soon as we finish eating, oh yeah. I mean, these accommodations are not the best, but they're the best I can give you. And it took me hours to move that furniture, right?
You did it all alone, Herb, all by yourself.
I want to tell you something. That buffet weighed 600 pounds minimum. So this is the best. Now, what I suggest is our bartender will give you any wine you want. We have reds, whites, every kind. And take it back with you first before you get your food and place it somewhere. In this room, you can